Hi, I'm Rick Janzen and this is my fly tying channel. You know, sitting here by the fire in February, the months of July and August seem like a long ways off. But as you know, it's never too early to get ready. We here on eastern Vancouver Island are lucky to have many rivers that support strong pink salmon runs. And due to enhancement, we're no longer concerned with the highs and lows of on years and off years as in the past. The only choices one has to make is which beaches or rivers to fish and timing. As for color, you can have any color you like as long as it's pink. On top of that, I have two more requirements for my pink salmon flies. They have to be easy to tie and robust. A fly is going to encounter a lot of hazards in a day. Seaweed, driftwood, rocks, and possibly dozens of fish in just one day. So I've come up with a pattern that meets all those requirements. I call it the pink pill. Let's take a look at it today. Welcome to my fly bench. The pattern that I've come up with in the pink pill is a derivative of an older pattern called the handlebar fly. It incorporates the same material with a couple of more added in to give it a bit more life. So let's take a look at the materials you're going to need to tie this fly. If you like this video, please tap that subscribe button on the bottom right of your screen. Thank you. So into my vise I have a Mustad size 6 stainless steel hook. It's model number 34007. I like a stainless steel hook for the marine environment as it stands up to that salt water. And it's a very strong fly too. So you won't be disappointed with this hook if you take it out for your pink or coho salmon fishing. To that I'm attaching my 8/0 red tying thread to complement the fly. You could use white. If you can get pink, you could use pink. Makes no difference as to the fly's effectiveness. Now for the tail, to give it some more life, I'm using DNA Frosty fish fiber from Fly Angler Supplies. It's a great sparkly material, a lot of life and flash to it, and I like to throw a little more life into my pink salmon flies as I believe it elicits more strikes than just the straight handlebar fly did. Although that fly was very effective and you could get away with it in years of super abundant pink runs when we're talking 100 to 200,000 fish or more returning to a river. It worked as dandy, and you'd certainly wear your arm out fighting fish in a morning. But when the numbers are a little lower, I think, and I've experienced that a fly with a little bit of movement, a little more sparkle than that is somewhat more effective at eliciting strikes. Now I'm using this Edge Bright in hot pink for the body. This is where the handlebar fly, this is the material they used, and that's all they used. They just wrapped that on a hook. But like I said, it's very still in the water. It doesn't have a lot of movement or any movement at all. And these other fibers add to that. So what I'm going to do with that, if you want to see how I cut that, you can see that in my how to cut ASB video, anti-static bag video, and I use the same method. So I'm going to taper the end of that with a pair of scissors. Give it a little bit of a taper so it's easier to tie in. So we just kind of cut a small triangle off the end of it there, as you can see, and then we can lay that taper down on the hook and give it a couple of wraps to secure it in place. Bring our thread forward and up to the eye of the hook. Now we'll take that laser wrap and wrap it forward in touching turns, and we'll just spiral that onto there, and so that we get a nice coverage of that hook without too much. Now I like to tie it off very securely as this material is kind of springy. I want to make sure it doesn't go anywhere once I've given it a cut. I give it some wraps in front and behind, and I see I've narrowed it down there to a very small point with my wraps, and I can cut that off. And our final material is a hen saddle hackle in hot pink. And this again gives it some breathing and movement to the fly that is otherwise absent in the straight old handlebar fly. Get that secured in there and cut off the stem end of the fly or the feather. A couple more wraps, and then what we're going to do is wrap this just twice. So we're going once, twice, and now we go around the thread counterclockwise and then the thread over the hook, around and over, around and over. As I said, it's a very simple fly to tie very fast. I can tie a dozen to 20 of these in an hour and be prepared for my upcoming pink salmon season. So I'm moistening the fingers of my left hand, drawing those hackle fibers back into the wet fly fashion and finishing off with a nice tidy head here to push those fibers back and let them stand. There we go. Now those are going to pulse and breathe in the water. You've got that crucial color of pink, and you're going to do well. If you fish this in rivers, as I do at times, I add a bead, a tungsten bead to the front, and I can use a number of different colors. Chartreuse has worked well. Pink, white, or even plain old brass colored will do well. As long as it's tungsten, it'll help get it down to the fish's level near the bottom of the river, and they take it with relish. You're going to enjoy some tight lines with this, so I'm wishing you good luck and thanking you for watching.